Hey man, so my name's Tommy. Welcome to my page. I do a lot of stuff. I want to talk a little bit more about me. Trying to get people to engage. I'm going to be talking about real topics, relationship advice, spirituality. Some of my things that I believe that I have knowledge on. I feel like that knowledge can be shared with you guys. So let me just tell you one thing, bro. Only you can make you better. So if there's anybody out there that wanna be something in life, be somebody, you dig what I'm saying? Like you got your goals, your mind set on something. Sometimes I feel like we're so used to wanting to be accepted that a lot of times we don't follow what it is that we truly want to do, what it is truly that we are truly obsessed with, because you don't become great at anything unless you're constantly working on it. You got to be obsessed with it. You got to want it more than you want to breathe. You know what I'm saying? So nobody has to remind you to tell you to breathe. Nobody should have to remind you to go chase your goals and chase your dreams. You shouldn't have to wait for somebody to remind you to do that. You dig what I'm saying? So like some of you guys, there's different distractions for everybody. Some people it's a relationship. Some people it's friendships. Some people it's just life in general. They're just stuck in reality. They just can't get out of their head. I used to be like that. I'm a self-taught teacher, you know what I'm saying? I'm a self-taught person. I learned everything by trial and error and going through myself, you know what I'm saying? No one ever told me like, people told me life would be hard, but nobody told me like, these are the exact things you're gonna go through. I mean, I don't think you can really tell anybody in life that I was 20 when this was going on, so in your 20s, you're gonna, it's different for everybody, you know what I'm saying? For me personally, I was, 18 years old. I dropped out. I dropped out of high school. I was just more focused on trying to make some money. I was like, where can I make money at, right? Where can I make money at? I had goals, I had dreams, but I was focused on money and the reality that I was living in, not thinking about building character, building certain attributes, gaining certain things, qualities about myself that would help me, when the time came, saying, are you ready? I mean, I was worried about money a lot. I mean, my first job that I remember working in high school was UPS. So I worked at UPS. Y'all, I loved that job. It was pretty easy for me to get on. So when I got on, I was doing that for a while. I was doing that for about maybe 4 or 5 months. I say 5 months. I was doing it for about 5 months. And then after that, I got into some trouble there. So stopped working there. Funny was around that time I was working at UPS, I stopped really going to school like that. I had dreams of being, still have ambitions and stuff. So, that was where my heart was, but I always knew I needed money. So I was working at UPS, and at the time when I started getting all the money, started going to the studio a lot, right? Stopped really going to school. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I didn't really think I'd pass high school. I didn't even think I'd get all the way to 12th grade. I get all the way to 12th grade, and I decided I don't even want to go no more, right? Cause I'm just like, man, everybody ahead of you. Everybody got money. Well, I felt like at the time, everybody got money. They got all the dudes had all the huzz. And I wasn't the best looking guy. I wasn't physically fit or the looks, in my opinion, or like I said, the attributes to even, have the confidence I wanted to have. It was like, damn, I still don't want to go to school now because I was so used to not going to school. So around that time, my mom, she had a little house, and I remember her lease was in there, and I moved out. I didn't really have nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? My mom was kind of like, it was like one of those situations where it's like, I'm the boy. I got all sisters. They went to school. They finished school. College is hitting them back, saying they want them to go to their program and all this shit. And then you got your son. You just want to smoke weed, skip school, go to the studio. So my mom just wanted me to work. She was like, at this point, just keep a job, you know what I'm saying? And then I just stopped going to school completely, and I dropped out. It's like, okay, now I need to so now I was just focused on straight money. So after that, I would start working a pretty shitty job, working for, it's this moving helper thing for you, what is it called, U-Haul, and I was doing that, probably making like $14, $15 an hour, you know. But it was good money for me at the time. Went and stayed with my homie Eli. We weren't living in the best area, but it was somewhere to live, you know, at the time. So I just took up wherever I could go. You know, it was like a situation where, like I said, my mom kind of, you know, stuck with me, but it was on some shit like she's like, you need to, you know, man up. So I took that as an opportunity to just, you know, go out on my own and try. Cause I knew if I went with my mom, it really wasn't gonna last too long, or the relationship wasn't gonna be as good as it needed to be. With all that being said, I went with my homie, lived with him on and off, working and shit. You know, moving is seasonal, so sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Man, I'm 23 now, and I still don't know what I was doing. You out here now, you got a plan, making a little money. Well, you don't have no plan. I had no plan. For real. My plan was just to survive. 19, 20, 21. Really all the way up until I was 21. Just until then, I was really just trying to get through, you know, eat noodles, 50-cent bag of chips, that type of thing. My camera light is acting a little funny over here. It was a lot, you know. I was living with people that didn't want me to live with. Well, not originally. I lived with my homie Eli for a minute. Then I got kicked out because I had like smashed some girl in his bedroom. Had to live with some, like, I ended up meeting some random dude. He let me live with him, man. And the meeting him, bro, was like, hey, yo, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, you know, we had smoked a couple blunts before, like, talking and shit. He was like, man, you got your head on straight. You know, one day I just came out, I'm like, man, I don't got nowhere to stay. I can kick it over here. I stayed for like a year. Got up out of there. Get me like, you know, I told you I was doing music. Get a little management deal. You dig what I'm saying? So I get the management deal. Like, I'm getting played by HUDs left and right. You know what I'm saying? Like, confidence low. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I had was music. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just continue to do this music thing. Hopefully it goes all right. I remember I told you working at U-Haul. I was going to cops of weed one day from the trap. Two guys, Dominique, let's say the other guy's Rodney. Two big ass niggas. They're like, come, you know what I'm saying? Work for us, man. Like, what you do for a living? Like, you work anywhere? I'm like, man, I do moving. They're like, bro, we got a moving company, man. Come work for us. And my homie got the record label. You know what I'm saying? You get signed, come up to the record label, woo do woo. So I'm like, damn, go to the record label. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, guys. From in between me, like, staying with homie, like I was staying with homie for like a year, and then before that, I was living with my other dog. You know, it was always rocky. Like, every month, I felt like every month it was down there. Like, the person I was living with was telling me like I was gonna have to find somewhere to stay. So it was like, even during that 9, 10 months to a year that I was staying with, you know, where I was at, it was like, it always felt like I really, you know, every night I lay down like, man, this might be my last time, you know, staying here. Like, I might not have nowhere to stay tomorrow. And I was really living with people I was living with people I never met in my life, so they don't owe me any type of respect or loyalty. I mean, you know, respect is due to a dog, but at the end of the day, they ain't owe me anything. You feel me? So like, he was doing me a favor, even letting me stay that long. I was just paying like $300. That was a lot to me at the time, because I wasn't, you know, I wasn't used to paying any bills. I wasn't used to even, you know, surviving, and your money that you get, you using that, you know, to get by, to get more money. You got to use that to get rides everywhere. You know, I started learning this shit. So, you know, I was in my head, I was struggling. You know, it got worse though. You know what I'm saying? But it get great. But it's only because it get greater later. But it got a little worse though. But at the time, I'm like, man, for me going to not having nowhere to stay, to having somewhere to stay, to it being rocky. Now someone telling me, boom, you know, because they heard my music. I was on a job one day and playing my music and shit. And like, man, bro, we're gonna sign you. You just keep on doing that. You stay with that. And a year from now, when his homie was like, when I started the record label, I'm gonna sign you and shit.